What comes first? This is a great question. Welcome to Speed Q&A with Allison Lane. What comes first? The book, the pitch, the book proposal, the query? Everyone has this question. And the safe answer is it depends, but it doesn't really depend. It's just that your scenario might be different than the next person's because you might be writing a different kind of book. You might be writing fiction versus nonfiction. Maybe it's nonfiction, but it's memoir. So let's start with nonfiction. Nonfiction, please do not write your book first. No. We do not sell nonfiction books fully baked, because your publisher will want to guide that. They might know of a different book that's out there that your book needs to add to the conversation on, or that a different book that's out there that's about to come out, but you don't know about it yet because you're not in the industry. So instead, for nonfiction, book proposal comes first. Also, do not write your query letter first. And here's why. But first, let me tell you why you should listen to me. My name is Allison Lane. I help women get published, pitch their books, find publishers, promote their books, monetize their expertise, and do it all fast, because women over 50 can get some poo done. So if you are listening now and listening in, I hope that you know that you for sure don't need to write your book first. And please don't start with your query letter. Now, for your query letter is essentially your pitch letter about your book. And it is the distillation of all that is fantastic and holy about your book. It's like the holy moly, the grail. But if you start with your query letter, it's like starting with the frosting on the cake. There's no way to put frosting on a cake that hasn't been baked, or even a cupcake, right? You have to start with the ingredients. You have to start with the recipe. The recipe has to be like your family recipe, or like a dash of cinnamon or of nutmeg or whatever. However you make that your own and distinctive, you might know you want to bake a carrot cake muffin, which sounds delish. I would love that with cream cheese icing, but a little bit separate or a little bit different than what you've seen out there. But dang, you can't put the frosting on first. You can't decorate the frosting first. You have to start with what's there. And what's there, the ingredients, how you're going to make it special, that all comes in the book proposal process, which is not about your book. It is about your book's business plan. Okay, so if you want more on that, DM me or holler here and let me know that you're here. And you can DM me at Allison Lane Lit anywhere, and email me at Allison@LaneLit, or go to my website, lanelit.com, and you can actually leave me just a voicemail. You just click a button on any page on the right-hand side. It'll say, send Allison a voicemail. You leave me a voicemail, and I'll send you one right back. Now, if you're writing memoir, chances are you are almost complete with your memoir, and now you're thinking, how do I sell my memoir? And I have to tell you, number one, a memoir also needs a book proposal, and you might not be writing memoir. So if you're writing part memoir, part your industry perspective, then you're not writing memoir. If you are writing part memoir, part historical reflection, you might not be writing memoir. So this is good news, because I don't want you to do extra work. But I do want you to know that no matter what you've written so far, you will use all of it. All of it. Do not delete anything. And you still will need a book proposal. Now, if you're writing fiction of any sort, you write the entire book first. And that includes young adult and middle grade. You write the entire thing first. But if you're writing children's books, you don't need a a book proposal at all, just a query letter, but it still has to be sharp. You still have to go through the process of developing an understanding about the entire industry and where your book fits in. And that's why, while you don't need a book proposal, you will need to go through the process that I use to build book proposals, very successful book proposals and query letters for my clients who get agent interest in their first round of querying every single time. So I want you to know that there's a quicker way to do everything and there's a more direct way. And then this is it. You have to know what's needed to move you to the goal, the end goal that you have. And so that you don't get fed one tiny itty bitty step at a time, because that is painful and totally unnecessary. Now, if you are, so the question was, what comes first, the book pitch, the query, or the book proposal? Now, a book pitch is sometimes people will go to a book conference, a writer's conference, in order to get access to an agent in order to pitch their book. So verbally, they might have their query letter or some pages there, but the book pitch is something that you can really get out in one breath. My book is about this, this, and this, and it's called this. That it's about, 20 words, and you can say all of those in one breath, which is fantastic. But your book pitch, that amazing distillation of that's so boiled down and rich and potent, comes from you really understanding where your book fits in the marketplace, to your reader, what the competition or what the other books are that your reader is reading. And I think it's hard to start just with that because you haven't done any of the steps that I'm talking about. So you could kind of spitball it and brainstorm it, but you have no perspective of, is this right? It just ends up being a brainstorm. It's like trying to come up with a title for your book without taking a look at what else is out there, or putting your house on the market and just choosing a number that you would like to get for the sale of your house without taking a look at what else is out there. I mean, that's just what it is. So you really have to do that detective work and do it fast and furious. If you want that method that I use, and a free training on query letters and nailing yours or finding an agent, also free. My book proposal template, also free. It all comes with the Rock Your Book Proposal live program, which is coming up starting July 24th. So it's really like a buy one, get three free, because I feel like you should know what all the steps are and not have to get told, get introduced to one step and then, oh, by the way, there's another step. And then, oh, by the way, there's another step. No, this is all in one, totally inclusive and live. So you get input from me and direction. Nothing's worse than not knowing for sure what your next steps are supposed to be. And I like it when people tell me, do this, not that. So I want you to be able to have confidence in you're doing this, not that. And with a very trusted guide and expert perspective on your side. If you have a question, whether it's input on your pages or how do you get published or where do you find an agent, you can submit that and I will critique your work if that's what you want, or give you a perspective on what your next step would be. You can get access to that at my free writers group, the Publishing Lane on Facebook. So it's free to everybody and you can hop in. And that's where I hold free webinars and free critique sessions and free workshops and interviews. And also it's a place you can dig in, and you could get access to all of that at my website, lanelit.com. Any questions you have, go ahead and send them to me, and happy writing.